So I'm at a point here where I'm like kind of scratching my head. So I got some controls now I'm going to use for the gain control with 11 clicks for resistors. The problem is I don't know where I'm going to go from here. This is kind of one of those mysteries because I got these transformers and I gotta wire this in such a way that I'm not gonna get ground exposure, because even the damn lamp I have, because it has one of those where you turn it to control the brightness, even that goes through this circuit. Now granted, I have this thing on aluminum foil and it's grounded on the aluminum foil, but yes, it's still plenty of wires exposed. I'm just trying to think, like, how am I going to go about the grounding situation on this damn thing? I don't know exactly how I'm going to design this. I'm drawing a blank. I got this far with the circuit, and I keep rewriting the circuit too. Like, this is the preamp so far I'm working on, and it's very simple. You got your input, your bypass switch, so you can have your high impedance, and we're going to the transformer otherwise through a pad, which is a 20 decibel pad, which I have yet to figure out the resistor values, and then into a simple one-stage voltage to current operational amplifier stage. And in place of this potentiometer, we now have this. This is what I took these out of a scope, a really old junk scope, so don't worry, I didn't trash nothing that was important. And I had to clean up the actual contacts on here. The thing is meticulous as shit. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but there is like multiple stages of little components. You pull these bolts out, and it goes to like these little wafers in between the ceramic little thing right there, and then your main block right there for your contacts, and then another little wafer, little ceramic thingy, wafer, wafer, ceramic thing. I mean, I had to pull this all apart and clean the hell out of this because this was so tarnished. There was like very little connectivity. I'm planning on using these as my gain stage potentiometer instead of an actual potentiometer, because I feel like this the smarter way to go with this project. So I have 8.2K resistors all around here. So it's going from 0 ohms all the way up to let's see, what is it? 8.2 times 10, 82K. So it's an 82K resistor, but it's selectable, and they'll both be very stable. They're not going to be like a potentiometer where you can vary it and you're not going to know where you're at. These things will be, so you can set up both microphones, because this is going to be a stereo microphone preamplifier. Now the output potentiometer is a different story, but I'm going to have this set up so that when it's in the center position, that'll be 0 dBu, or 0 decibels on the output. The 1.7 volts or whatever it is on line level output, and then you'll be able to vary it to get more gain or less gain if you need that. So I'm like scratching my head. Where do I go from here? This is like, the circuit works, and it works great, I want to get these transformers and I want to get this thing built into a box. I want to get this project on the road and I want to use it. But now I'm like, I've gotten this far with the plan and I'm wondering stupid things. Like, how do I mount this? Am I going to mount this sideways? Because I don't even know what I'm going to build this project into. And normally I use like old cases from like DVD players or CD players or whatever, rack mount stuff. So if I mount it upright, you know, that's less space height-wise that this entire circuit can be in. And plus, all these wires are heat shrinked because these transformers came out of an audio console that somebody snipped so closely. So I'm thinking sideways. Mount it sideways on like a slab of metal, right? Like if this perf board was a slab metal, or not a slab metal, but like if there's a slab metal up there, mount these, and then the wires can poke out and then go to the components on the board. Other than that, I don't really know. This is part of the planning process that a lot of people don't ever talk about when they're designing stuff like this. I don't think I've ever heard anybody ever talk about this. Usually when they're building stuff is like they already have a plan in mind, right? They're like everything's cool, you know. I know what I'm doing, and the circuit is completely built. And you know, my notebook, I have all these schematics, and it's all good. It's all good. No, it's not good. It's not good. It's all crazy. It's haphazard and crazy. And that's part of the fun of this stuff, because you just don't know where the hell you're going with it. Especially when you build on something like this, especially, because this is not a printed circuit board. So even when I get this far, when I start actually soldering onto this on the opposite side, it's still, once again, one of those things where it's like you plan as you go. I don't think anybody talks about this ever, so I just figured I would. So sorry for ranting, but I needed to get out that rant.